General, thanks for being with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Morgan. An honor to be here.
All right, so let's start first with what IronNet specifically is. I'm looking at the press release. It says you're transforming cybersecurity through collective defense. What is collective defense? How is it different, what you're offering different than what's already on the market in terms of some of the other cybersecurity firms?
So that's a great question because we really need collective defense for our country. So what is that? It's essentially three things from IronNet's perspective. First, it's how you detect malware that others can't see using behavioral analytics. And second, using an expert system to help drive down false positives. But the third part is because we can anonymize that data, we can share it amongst companies, we can share it with the federal government, and create, if you will, a radar picture for cybersecurity, a way to protect companies, sectors, states, and nations with this real-time picture. That's the future of cybersecurity. Think about it. Right now, every company is defending itself. They're sitting in isolation. They share what they know, but they can't share what they don't see. We bring that to life. That's the future, we believe, of cybersecurity.
So then would your products and what you have, the services you have out there in the marketplace right now, would that be able to counter something like the SolarWinds hack we've seen or this most recent one that seems to be linked to China?
Yes, exactly. That's why we started this company, was to go after exactly that. We were lucky enough, we were able to detect the first parts of the SolarWinds, but we didn't know it was from Russia, and we didn't have enough companies to see it actually get the second stage. None of our companies got that. Now imagine if you take the SolarWinds with our capability, had we seen it both in the private sector and the public sector, I believe we could have stopped this in June. Imagine that. Shut that down right away. The Microsoft one is a bit different, but I think we could do the same thing there. We've got to come up with a new way of protecting companies in cyber. It's out of control. Look at the ransomware attacks on the healthcare and education systems. It's not working. What we're doing with signature-based systems is not working. So we have to take this step into the future.
So it's interesting. One of your products is called Iron Dome, for example, and it makes me think it's not the same thing as the missile defense system we have in place over in Israel, but it kind of leads to a comparison, this idea of what we're seeing in terms of cybersecurity coverage versus missile defense coverage, that there are vulnerabilities in those shields and things can still get through. The New York Times actually did a good job kind of laying out that comparison over the weekend, and this idea that foreign actors have begun to identify America's blind spot from a cybersecurity standpoint by issuing these attacks inside America's borders. I mean, given your history at Cyber Command, at NSA, I mean, the NSA cannot operate in domestic infrastructure. So what kind of opportunity does that create for maybe future public-private partnerships, more commercial entities such as yours to come in and help to fortify those national security defenses?
That's exactly the point, Morgan. That's what you just brought up is the key. We don't want NSA, and NSA doesn't want to be in your networks or protecting your networks. But there's no way for companies to tell them that they're being attacked. Look at the SolarWinds. They didn't see it. We saw it, but there was no way of connecting that between the public and the private sector. So right now, everybody is fighting by themselves, and there is no ability to share it. So as you depicted the Iron Dome, that's exactly why we created it. What if we could take that information and share it amongst companies, but also share it with the federal government so they can see these attacks anonymized. They don't need to know it's company A, B, C, or D by the specific name, just an energy company, a finance company, a healthcare company is being attacked by a nation state. Here's what's going on. Then they can do their job. That's what we didn't have when I ran U.S. Cyber Command. We were responsible for defending the country, but we couldn't see it. This company is picking up that slack. We say the mission continues because now it's upon us in the private sector to figure out how to help bring that to light, give that to the government in a way that they can protect us and still protect our personally identifiable information, our content and communications and everything else. We can do both. That's the key. You brought up another part, Morgan. Our future is in this network. Look at the wealth our company has created with the internet and all the things that come to it. And we have these great vulnerabilities that others are now exploiting. We have to solve this cybersecurity problem, and that's what this company is trying to do.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.